WWE has well over 200 wrestlers under contract, and as I'm constantly telling my wife, not everyone is going to be satisfied 100% of the time. People can say what they want about WWE's booking style, but the company has a serious wealth of talent on its books, and it sucks to report that they're being let down horribly right now. Think title wins can save someone from failure? Think again. Every single man and woman on this list should either be doing more on TV every week or just doing something different. I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and these are 8 wrestlers that WWE are failing right now. Number 8, Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake. The Forgotten Sons have literally been forgotten. Jackson Riker's, how can I put this, dumbass social media posts raised the ire of several within WWE and did neither he nor his pals Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake any favours. Instead of rising up through the SmackDown tag team ranks towards the titles, the Sons were removed from telly with immediate effect. They haven't been back since. This sucks for Cutler and Blake because they didn't do anything wrong and they've only been punished by association with Riker for his Twitter outbursts. Cutler and Blake are a fine tag who should be contributing on screen rather than rotting away off of it due to circumstances out of their control. One can only hope that they force their way back in sooner rather than later. Number 7, the Iconics. Just why? Not now, Simon. Look, I get it. They split the greatest female tag team of all time so that Peyton Royce could have a singles push. Except, no, Vince McMahon has literally already forgotten about her and put Selena Vega at the front of the sodding title queue. And remember a little-known tag team called The New Day? Well, Kofi Kingston became bloody WWE champion at WrestleMania with his best friends by his side because you don't have to split a tag team so that one of them can have singles sodding success. Number 6, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan did catch attention when she alleged that she'd been having a love affair with Lana on the 30th of December episode of Monday Night Raw. WWE typically didn't do much with that plot point at all, and in fact, it's almost like Liv's love interest angle with the ravishing Russian never happened at all. Now she's part of a revived Riot Squad with Ruby Riott. Look, the squad were crap first time around. They failed to elicit much response from the fans, and Liv, Ruby, and Sarah Logan just kind of existed on the roster without doing anything of note. That seems to be Morgan's fate once more. The shame here is that she has a striking look, has improved in-ring, and is a capable talker on the mic. WWE didn't need to drop her back into a lazy storyline with Riot. They had something else for her to do, and then just weirdly ignored it. Number 5, Chad Gable. Chad Gable is treated like a nuisance by WWE's writing team. They know he's talented and they presumably know he deserves better, but nobody really knows what to do with him or where he fits into the product. As a result, he's been Shorty G for a whole sodding year until he quit that name the other week after getting murdered by Lars Sullivan, presumably because now Slapjack or bloody T-Bar holds the title for crappiest WWE name. Getting rid of that moniker is certainly a start with Gable, but they also need to book him correctly. He is a shoo-in for some classic matches and maybe even a mid-card title reign, especially with Sami Zayn as IC champion. So how did WWE reintroduce the new and improved Chad Gable the week after he quit being Shorty G? They didn't. They had a sit-down interview with The Freak instead. Oh, and Murphy getting off with Rey Mysterio's daughter. Lovely. Number 4, Otis. Poor pudgy bastard. Otis winning Money in the Bank, or to be more precise, having the briefcase fall into his hands, was without doubt one of the biggest shocks this year. But once the banter and memes calmed down, WWE were faced with a choice. Does Otis stay true to his promise, to his old pal, and cash in the case for a shot at the tag titles? Does he join the likes of Baron Corbin and Damian Bloody Sandow in the ranks of losers who failed their world title shot despite being able to cash in anytime, any place for a year? Or does Otis become a WWE World Champion? Well, in the end, they went for option D. Piss about with The Miz for a few months, who then bribes JBL in a Law and Otis skit that also features Ron Simmons and Teddy Long with a goatee that I can only dream of, and then lose the briefcase because your best mate turns on you. I suppose it could be worse. You could be Tucker Knight, or as I like to call him, Number 3, Shayna Baszler. Alright, yeah, Shayna Baszler recently became one half of the new Women's Tag Team Champions at Payback. And yes, her dual submission work on Bayley and Sasha Banks was unbelievable. However, no, working alongside Nia Jax in some frosty duo done good, what an odd couple, how are they gonna get along, is not a great use of her skill set in 2020. This is a woman who once held the NXT Women's title for 416 days in 2018-19 and looked like an absolute tank doing it. Her matches with everyone from Kairi Sane and Ember Moon to Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley were works of aggressive art that painted Baszler as NXT's answer to fellow MMA warhorse Ronda Rousey. In many respects, Shayna was better than her real-life friend. Raw life has been a false dawn for Baszler, though. Her push was scrapped several times from WrestleMania 36 onwards, and now she's buddying up with the borderline unbearable Jax. Shayna should be the heel face of the division, not some sort of background extra. Number 2, Matt Riddle. Imagine WWE had signed ex-UFC light heavyweight champion John Jones several years ago and introduced him via some lengthy promo about frostbitten feet. The world would stop rotating, the polar ice caps would melt overnight, and everyone would wonder why such a credible fighter was being stripped of his edge. Also, who had the bright idea of following that turd up with this directionless, half-arsed King's Ransom feud with Baron Corbin? These guys could rightly demand a meeting with SmackDown's writing staff and ask if they even want either man to succeed. Riddle, in particular, needs hard-hitting matches. He definitely doesn't need far-fetched flipping frostbite. Number 1, Ricochet. Just how good was that match between Ricochet and Humberto Carrillo on the 28th of August edition of Main Event? If you have no idea what happened there, don't worry, you're far from alone. And haunting C-level programming has become an alarming trend for one of wrestling's most exciting flyers. Palling around with Cedric Alexander, or more recently eating lumbar checks off of him, is not a good place for Ricochet to be either. Ricochet's talent didn't evaporate overnight, and he only seems to be getting punished because he wasn't the Rock on the mic earlier this year during a brief flirtation with the headline pack against Brock Lesnar. That went well. There's no wonder there were reports recently claiming the one and only was looking to run down his WWE contract after all that bollocks. Seriously, someone tricked Vince into watching 5 minutes of Ricochet. I don't know, tell him it's a compilation of fully clothed people being pushed into swimming pools or something when he was in NXT, or WCPW for that matter. Maybe he will finally see what everyone else does. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam from What Culture, and I'll see you soon.